4 million white-collar jobs, gone in 10 months. 78% held by people with bachelor's degrees or higher. The college premium, the single most reliable wealth-building bet of the last 40 years, just collapsed. And the data shows it's not coming back. Here's the setup nobody saw coming. Since 2000, every advanced economy raced to build a college-educated workforce. In the US, the share of the labor force with advanced education nearly doubled. Canada crossed 60%. South Korea went vertical. The UK, Germany, France, all followed the same playbook. Push kids into universities, harvest the wage premium, ride the knowledge economy forever. By 2023, over half the workforce in most of these countries was doing cognitive work for a living. That's the trap. Every one of those workers is now sitting inside the exact task profile that GPT class models automate best: writing, analyzing, summarizing, coding, reviewing. The countries that won the education race built the biggest target on their own back. India, with a fraction of the tertiary educated share, has far less exposure per capita. The smartest economies in the world spent 20 years optimizing for the jobs AI eats first. Now the counter-argument: every tech wave kills jobs and creates new ones. Relax. Wrong. Look at what actually happened to these economies. Services, the white-collar sector, is now 70 to 80% of GDP in the US, UK, and France. Germany and Japan aren't far behind. This isn't 1995 when manufacturing could absorb a shock. There is no bigger sector to rotate into. Services is the economy. When AI compresses productivity in law, finance, marketing, HR, software, consulting, and admin, that's not a sector taking a hit. That's the entire GDP taking a hit. Previous automation waves displaced 5 to 10% of workers in a narrow slice of the economy. This wave targets the 70% slice. And unlike factory automation, it doesn't need a decade of capex and retooling. It needs an API key.
Here's the smoking gun. Unemployment among workers with advanced degrees was the lowest risk category in the labor market. For 2 straight decades, a bachelor's degree meant a 2 to 3% unemployment rate, half the national average. Through every recession, every shock, that inversion has already started in the underlying data. In the US, UK, Canada, and Korea, unemployment among the college-educated has been climbing since ChatGPT launched, even while blue-collar unemployment stayed flat or fell. This has never happened before. In every recession on record, 2001, 2008, 2020, degree holders were protected. In this cycle, they're the target. The line that was supposed to stay flat is bending up fast. It gets worse. While AI is deleting knowledge jobs, universities are producing graduates at record volume. Tertiary enrollment ratios in Korea, Canada, and the US are above 80% of the college-age population. Even Germany, historically vocational, is climbing fast. India is scaling up hardest of all. That's the pipeline. Millions of students, right now, borrowing money to train for cognitive jobs that won't exist when they graduate. The class of 2027 is walking into a market where entry-level analyst, associate, junior developer, paralegal, and copywriter roles are being consolidated into a single mid-level human with an AI stack. Graduate hiring at top consultancies is already down. Big tech new grad offers collapsed. The pipeline hasn't adjusted. The market already did. The techno-optimist reply: fine. Jobs disappear, but productivity explodes and everyone gets richer. Check the receipts. GDP per capita growth across the G7 has been sluggish for a decade. 1 to 2% in good years. Negative in bad ones. If AI were producing a productivity miracle, we'd see it here first. We don't. The gains are showing up in corporate margins and the market cap of 6 US companies. Not in per capita output. Not in wages. The workers being displaced aren't being absorbed into higher productivity roles. They're being absorbed into gig work, early retirement, and long-term unemployment. AI is a wealth concentration engine, not a broad prosperity engine. The macro data proves it. So here's the inversion nobody's pricing in. The electrician can't be replaced by a language model. The plumber, the HVAC tech, the welder, the nurse. Their jobs require a body in a physical space solving a physical problem. Wages in the skilled trades are climbing. Apprenticeship applications are up. Meanwhile, the marketing analyst with a master's degree is competing with a $20 a month subscription. For 40 years, the smart move was, get the degree, avoid the trades. That advice just became the most expensive mistake a middle-class family can make. The safe bet became the risky bet. The dirty job became the durable one. This isn't a prediction. It's already in the 2026 numbers. The verdict: the college degree is the worst performing asset class of the 2020s. Not because education stopped mattering, but because AI just automated the exact cognitive tasks that justified the wage premium. The countries that bet hardest on the knowledge economy, the US, UK, Korea, Canada, are the most exposed. The trades, long dismissed as a fallback, are now the hedge. Blue collar is the new safe. White collar is the new gamble. If you're in school right now, or advising someone who is, the data is screaming one message. The map you were handed is 20 years out of date. If you want the numbers before the headlines catch up, subscribe. No hot takes, no vibes, just the charts that show where the economy is actually going. New data breakdown every week.